Todd, and this is Diggin' Life, a channel dedicated to those wanting to get started in excavation, grading, demolition, and all other things that are fun that involve the dirt. In today's video, I'm taking you guys along with me to look at a land clearing job. Kelly took the call on it, so I don't know if we're just going to look at mowing it down or if we're going to be stumping and grubbing it. So we're going to ride down there, meet with the customer, and see what they need us to do. I encourage you to consider subscribing if you are new to the channel, because I do put out multiple videos as far as bidding, and I've actually decided recently to do a video on every job I go to look at. That's important because you guys will see how consistent I am with bidding, and that I don't necessarily adjust only if I'm not getting a whole lot of the bids. You don't want to win every bid, because if you did, that would mean that you're giving quotes and prices to people that they think the job is worth, and about 70% of the time people want you to do a job for a price that you cannot do a good job at that price. Of course, the very first thing that I look at starting to look at this job is how far away it is for me to travel. It's a 45-minute drive by vehicle, and we are going from a higher elevation up here in Black Mountain, North Carolina, down to Nebo, North Carolina, which is downhill, but at some point I will have to pull that machine back up the same grade. Therefore, I've got to keep that in consideration. I'm going to figure an hour haul down there and an hour haul back, and at $187 per hour for the rate that I'm thinking for the machine we're going to take, that puts us at a little over $300 for hauling costs. Okay, let's get out here and just show you guys what I'm looking at here. This is what a 6-year growth looks like. This was heavily wooded. The stumps look older, but they were logged out 7 years ago. And this is what happens when you clear cut a forested area. A blue million saplings start growing, and it's a race for sunlight, and eventually they'll start choking each other out, but it's going to take a long time. I've seen years and years of growth this thick. By 20 years, it's just taller. This will be easy road to cut. So what they're wanting me to do is bring the mulcher in. I'll probably rent an ASV, skid steer type unit with a bullhog head. It will fly through this stuff. I'll just need to get a price on renting that guy, and then we'll be able to get them some clearing. This road's going to have to be 20 feet wide because they're going to do cabins. Yep, let's grew up thick. I'm gonna take some doing to push in a 20-foot wide road here. Big enough dozer will do it though, for sure. Just a quick little history. I used to rent those ASVs pretty regularly, and I was getting anywhere from $2,200 to $2,500 per 8 hours of operating. It's probably been 2 years since I rented one of those. Now, in this video, I'm going to just bid it based on travel times, rent, but to figure my rent, I believe the national inflation average is 3 to 5% per year. Therefore, what I did, since it's been about 2 years since I ran this machine, and I consistently got $2,200 per day. 3% of that is $66. So for the first year, we went to $2,266. 3% more to that is 67 point something. That gets us up to $2,333. Now I think I'm going to get at least a day on this job, maybe 2, to do what they're wanting me to do. What I'm going to do is take that $2,333 and I'm just going to add 1 hour of travel time, because I feel like that's fair to the customer, being that when I get off work, I may be going to do a quote right there where they're at. I may be having to go 2 hours the other direction at the end of the day. I feel like that's fair, and that brings our total up to $2,500 roughly. It's actually $2,520. People like round numbers, so I'm just going to throw 2,500 at them. It's still around that range that I was getting 2 years ago. It's just we got a good hour of drive time to get to work. Mulchers that size vary greatly by area. I know people who price it at $150 an hour. I know people who price it at $250 an hour. And I know people that get up around $300 per hour. It really depends on your local economy. If there's a lot of industry, a lot of money, and there's a lot of money circulating, there are people that have high-paying jobs, medium-paying jobs, then they are going to be at a spot where they can afford to pay more. And that's what I'm talking about by local economy. The town I grew up in, you would be hard-pressed to get $150 an hour, and I would say 95% of people in my hometown could not afford to pay to have this done. Now that property we just looked at was 54 acres. If it were me, I would push all that stuff off to a corner of that huge property and just push it off and either bury it or leave it on top to rot. It's just such a massive property that you could do that, but you've got pushing, you've got loading up, and you've got moving, as opposed to just mulching it in place. In watching the customer and talking to them, they were two very confident people, and I like that because they know what they want. What you don't want to do with customers who know what they want, they know the direction they've wanted to go in, if they don't ask you for what your thoughts are or what would be better, sometimes it can really turn a customer off to you if you start telling them, I can do this, I can do it at this price, but I wouldn't recommend it. It almost can make somebody feel insulted or belittled to have somebody else telling them what they should be doing with their property. As in every quote, it's important to show up. I'm so-and-so. I'm here to help you. I'm here to make your property what it is you want to do. Tell me how I can help. You don't want to always go straight in to telling them what you think the best way to do it is. You could really turn them off. I'm telling you. It's important. Let the customer lead you to do the quote. A lot of the time, I'll show up and I'll say, how can I help you? What are we going to do to make your property what you want it to be? And a lot of the time, they'll say, well, that's why I called you. I really don't know. What would you suggest? And that's when you start pouring on all the different ways that you can do the job that they're wanting to do, the results, the prices, several quotes. You know, I am a fan of doing multiple quotes, and I may still do that on this job, but as far as teaching you guys and giving you ideas, then I need to give a solid price. That's what I feel like. I feel like when I go through these quotes with you guys, I need to give you a solid price, and then you guys can make little tweaks based on the cost of renting these machines. To rent that machine is going to cost me, and I messaged Tyler, he said he thought that it rented for $650. On my mind, I just go ahead and say, well, I'm going to figure being out $750 for the machine. I'm going to be out probably a couple $100 in fuel, hauling time. All that stuff comes together. By the same respect, when you read a customer and they know the directions they want to go in, they're very straightforward, this, and this, you don't always want to give them a whole bunch of options, because they are wanting to work with somebody that's going to be the same way. You got to develop that relationship, that kind of rapport. Therefore, you know, you're kind of speed dating again when you're doing quotes. That you have a very short amount of time to win this person, for them to like you, and hopefully you're just a likable person. And being honest will always work to your advantage. Don't try to BS a customer. Don't try to be dishonest. Just be straightforward with them. But you've got to be the type of person that they want to work with. Me, I'm just who I am. I am who I am with everybody, and it makes it easier for me to think that way. Because if a customer doesn't like me for who I am, more than likely they're going to get on my nerves, or I'm going to get on their nerves, and it's just not going to be a good working relationship. I have enough workflow where I can afford that. But for you guys who are just starting out and maybe having trouble getting bids, that's when you've got to, how should I put it? Be accommodating. You need to be accommodating and be the person that person needs you to be to complete their job. One big thing about that property is all of those were poplar or pine saplings about that big, and I am going to rip through them. And I am going to be able to make a lot of time. I'm going to be able to open up a whole lot of area. And I know that when the customer shows up or is standing there watching me ripping through this stuff, they will be impressed. I almost have no doubt. Hopefully this video gives you guys an idea of how I quote forestry mulching, and has given you an idea how you can quote it, and that you can rent these machines and start out getting some business, making a little bit of money, and start building your business. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe and to see future bidding videos. Thanks. Y'all have a great day, and it's because of you that I'm having a great day. Peace.